is still okay, and I can talk to people, that is when I can hear them, and debate the issues of the day or whatever they want to talk about.
What did you do on your 96th birthday?
Well, I found, I mean, this is going not to be very enlightening. I found a headstone for my cat's grave that I had buried in the garden. I planted some flowers round his grave. I had friends over, and we had a couple of Bloody Marys, and someone was kind enough to bring me a vegan cake. I don't know if you're fond of cooking. I am very fond of cooking, and I would never be a vegan because you can't use butter, you can't use eggs. However, this vegan cake, I must say, considering it was vegan, was really delicious. And it had a sort of little dried pansy on the top of it, which was a real pansy and really looked quite beautiful. Inside it was full of nuts, of course, because vegans are great on nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, friends and Bloody Mary, and we had half a bottle of champagne. So
Well, that's all right. That's a celebration.
that's fine. So I didn't do too badly.
That's great. I'd love to hear more about your gardening.
Well, I enjoy gardening. I really love it. Gardening and cooking. I find enough to do. And my little house, which is dark and old and not very well kept, but it takes me a long time to sort of keep it, sort of halfway decent. The day goes by and you haven't done very much except shift the dust from one place to another.
What would we see in your garden?
Well, it runs down to a ravine at the bottom, so I have quite a lot of semi-wild animals, urban wildlife like raccoons and skunks. I had a couple of foxes once. The garden does go down to the ravine, down a very steep slope, which I'm trying to save the earth from eroding, so I put little bushes like gooseberry bushes and elderberry and so on to try to hold the earth up, but I'm not succeeding very well. I have red currant bushes, black currant, and of course a lot of tomatoes, and somebody's giving me some raspberry canes, and I hope that I will live to get some raspberries off them, but they haven't come yet.
How would you answer this question? What is it like to be 96 years old?
I was going to say it's bloody awful, but I'm sure your CBC heroes don't want to hear that. But
you have to be honest.
It is not a joyous age, because, Rita, when you're old, you can't understand this, but you'll get there in time. When you're old, people do not notice you. You go into a shop, and apart from the fact that the assistants are busy and so on, nobody notices you. Nobody speaks to you. You're sort of an invisible person. And that's why often, I think, elderly people are very garrulous, very articulate, because they want to be heard. They're saying, listen to me, I'm here, listen to me. But that's what it's like to be old. You're not taken notice of. You're sort of shoved aside. Go into a hospital, and all they want is the bed that you're in, so they hope you're going to die. I think perhaps it's understandable, Rita. If I were younger, I'm sure I said it when I was young. I can't remember accurately, but I probably said, all these old people, they're just, taking up our money, taking up space. There's too many of us anyway. Why don't they die and give the space over to younger people? I probably said that. But now, you see, I'm on the receiving end. And, of course, I often think, well, I ought to die too. I've lived too long. I know that. Because when all your faculties go one by one, there isn't, strictly speaking, there isn't a great deal to live for. except, as I say, cooking and gardening, loving your animals, talking to friends. There are those things, the sort of creature comforts, the sort of thing you can't write anymore, you can't read very well, you can't hear music, you can't compose music, but you can still talk to people, to your friends, and make yourself heard if they will only listen to you. So I suppose you're living more or less like an animal, but like a rather sophisticated animal, a sort of educated animal, because all the creature comforts you seek, a nice bed to lie on. I used to do a lot of camping. I couldn't do it now. Now I want a soft bed to lie on and, lotus bed and all the comforts and the nice drinks and everything done for me. So I am just a sophisticated kind of animal, like one of my cats.